What is up, my fellow creatures of the sea? My name's the Ocean Man, and I'm about to dive into some entitled parents. Entitled kid chokes me while his mom is watching, then tries to make me give him my PS4 because I punched him. This is my first story here. Please be gentle. Also, the story is more about the kid than the parent, but the parent was supporting the behavior. So, our cast for today: EK, obvious; EM, obvious; me, super obvious; neighbors 1 and 2, two neighborhood kids. Note that the neighbors are actually pretty cool. The EK was just a little older than them, and so had some authority. And so it begins. One summer day last year, I had just turned 14, I was playing some basketball with these two kids from my neighborhood in their driveway. Their family is pretty rich, so they have a fully paved driveway, big enough to be a sizable court. It's just me and them for about half an hour until Satan's son himself came over from down the street. This kid is really stereotypical little shit who made the select soccer team 3 years ago and still thinks that he runs the place. So we let him join the game, and everything is fine for a bit. I'm a little bit on the bigger side, but I'm really strong, so I play really well as a center, posting up in that. And the EK is guarding me and he's getting worked. He's shorter and not as strong, so he's getting dominated. Here's the major incident. I've just grabbed a loose ball and I'm running back towards the basket. The other kid gets back before me and stops my drive, so I start to back him down again. He must have just been really frustrated by him not getting a chance on defense, so he thinks up a plan. At this point, I was wearing a hoodie, and he grabs my hood from behind and pulls as hard as he can. I, not expecting my airflow to be cut off, especially while I'm breathing hard, start to panic. I can't shake him off my back. I don't know how long he's been hanging on, but it felt like a whole 45 seconds. That might not seem like that long, but I'm freaking out, so it feels like forever. An eternity later, his grip loosens and I finally get him off. I'm fired up, so I punch him right in the nose. Definitely not as hard as I could, but it certainly would have hurt a lot. This little shit, however, he drops like he's out cold. Meanwhile, I'm on my knees trying to get my breath back. He's bawling his eyes out. He's rolling and screaming and all that, being the melodramatic turd he is, but his mom is running over, and it was that moment where I knew I was screwed. Now, sometime between when he started and when I socked him, his mother came out. But she's a typical I want to speak to the manager, white upper middle class mom who volunteers to be the head of the PTA every year and goes to Starbucks 20 times a day, and the EK is very much her son. "Oh my god, redacted! Are you okay? What did you do to him?" He just nearly choked me out, so I punched him. "Why would you do that? You're so much bigger than him!" But he was choking me out. "Come on, dude. You've got to be more mature about this." What do you expect me to do? Apologize to him for making him choke me? The whole thing goes on for a while until the neighbors step in to try to protect me. OP really didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, he didn't even hit him that hard. But OP shouldn't be hitting people in the first place, especially not my son. Yes, she actually said, especially not my son. But it was basically a trade-off. Why are you guys trying to protect him? You should probably go inside. You don't know what you're talking about. They keep trying to help me out, but to no avail. This just goes around for another 5 minutes before EK finally gets up and limps. Yes, limps. Back to his house. I go home because I'm sick of this shit and I'm tired. The next day I try to go back over, but the EK is already there. Neither of his parents' cars are there, so I assume that he's staying at the neighbor's kid's house until they come back. I decide to go back inside because I don't want to interact with him. A couple hours later, EK shows up at our door with his mom sitting at the gate of our fence. Hi OP, I was just coming over to say sorry for choking you yesterday. I won't ever do it again." Okay, thanks. I'm sorry that I punched you." At this point, my mom comes to see who I am talking to, and she asks what's going on. EM pipes up and says, "We're here for your forgiveness gift." My what? Your forgiveness gift. It's a tradition in our family that the person who apologizes last has to give the other person something to make up for it. Excuse me, what's going on? I explain what happened, and as I explain what happened, she seems to get more and more disgusted by the situation. I finish explaining and turn back to EK, who tried to correct my story while I was explaining it to my mom, saying things like, "He punched me twice in the face, and then kicked me in the nuts while I was crying on the ground." My mom is basically a bomb-sniffing dog for lies, so I could see from her face that she knows that's bullshit. I turn back to EK. My mom. "I'm sorry, but we don't do forgiveness gifts in this family." EM. "We doing this one? EK, pick something out." EK looked around and saw my PS4, and he points at it. EK, Mommy, I want that. Keep in mind that this kid is just about a year younger than I am. Too old for mommy, too old for this whole situation, in my opinion. EM walks up to our door and sees it's my PS4. EM, great, we'll take that as our gift. My mom, with steam billowing out of her ears, slams the door in their faces and quickly locks it. They start pounding on the door so hard it sounds like they're trying to break it down. We leave the door, but they stay there pounding on the door for at least another 5 minutes before finally leaving. I still leave my neighbor's house anytime I see him walking down the block. That's the story. I understand that it was super long, may not be as high stakes or entertaining as some of the other stories here, but thanks for reading it if you got this far. Edit, holy shit, I never expected this kind of story to blow up. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, this story is just very crazy to me. The whole proposition that there should be a forgiveness gift for someone who apologizes last completely does not apply in this scenario. The only reason the OP apologized last in this scenario is because EK made the first move. EK tried to choke him out in the first place, and me, as a form of retaliation, hit him in the face. I'm pretty sure the only reason that the entitled mother Ethan came over to their house to apologize was to try to weasel out some sort of gift from the OP. And I'm glad they stood their ground, and I'm glad the mother just stormed out and just slammed the door in their faces and completely avoided them from getting that PS4. So in all, I thought it was a great story. Like, I see a lot of fake PS4 stories out there, but this one definitely seemed real to me. Hey, you are too old for a PC. Before I start, just to let you guys know that English is not my first, second, or third language, so I don't speak very good London, and I'm dyslexic, so yeah. EM equals entitled mom, EB equals entitled brat, who is 9 years old, MD is equal to my dad, me equals which is me, and uncle equals my uncle. So it was 1 year ago, July 20th, 2018, which was my birthday. I was 15 at that time, so yeah, I was young, but I had anger issues, which can easily be set off by people. This is why I usually stuck myself to gaming. I've been playing on a shitty laptop which cost 450 euros, which was meant for school and not playing games, but it ran CSGO pretty good so that I could play it on medium settings. But it was the only game I could play at the moment. So my uncle knew I wanted a PC for my birthday, and I always wished for one, and I had a lot of games that I couldn't run, which was a waste of money. So it was my birthday, which I was hyped for. My family got invited to my home, which was pretty neat, I thought. But no. My aunt from Spain got invited with her 9-year-old son, who loved Fortnite, which was fine, but sometimes, not because he acts like he can own everything, but I don't really care for now. It was time for presents, which I was very hyped for. So I opened my small gifts, but I opened the big ones for last. I got clothing and money. In total, I got 150 euros, which was nice. So the first thing I opened was a keyboard, a Razer Mamba. I was kinda confused before I opened a Logitech G502 mouse, and I got a small idea in my head. At first I thought it was something that I can use on my laptop, because I like gaming so much. But when I opened my second to last present, I found a screen and saw my uncle with a big smile on his face. So then I found the big and juicy one. I opened it like a lion who hasn't eaten meat for 1 month and found a big and new computer. I ran towards my uncle and gave him a hug. Now here comes EB and EM. They were looking at the PC, and EB starts to cry as he also wanted a PC. But he had a PS4 Pro at home. He whispered something to his mother before EM comes towards me and saying, "Hey, nice PC you have." Yeah, it is nice. I'm going to start plugging it in tomorrow. It was 7 p.m. and I needed help with the cleaning, so yeah. How old are you? 15 now, why? My son really wants a computer, and you were too old for one. When she said that, my blood was rising as she slowly grabbed for the mouse, which was on top of my PC, like it was nothing, and placed it beside EB, and EB had a big grin on his face. Hey, what are you doing? I and my family were in rage and shock as I was about to yell at her. I walked down to the mouse she laid beside EB, which he grabbed, so I walked down to take my mouse. As he starts to cry like a 4-year-old, EM was so angry that she almost grabbed my PC and was going to throw it, but before she did, my father grabbed her arm and took her in another room to not let her destroy everything, while my uncle and I brought the things to my room and locked the door. Now the birthday passes and I used my money to buy headphones and a Blue Yeti mic. The rest of the money was going to my games. My room was beside the door of people coming into my house, so when EB and EM came to our house, I would open the door fully to make EB jealous, which was fun for me. I hate how there's a pattern in these entitled parent stories where the entitled mother tries to take away something just because somebody seems too old for it. Just because somebody's too old for it doesn't mean that it's your property. It doesn't mean you can belittle the value of an item just by saying somebody's too old for it. It's their property. And also at the end, I really like this side of petty revenge where the OP leaves the door open just to make the entitled brat jealous of his new PC that he can't have. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's Entitled Parents, and please subscribe and like to see more.